what's your name and why are you here?
I'm Jack Phillips. I'm the director of the Solid Outreach Society from Victoria, BC, and I'm here for the BC YUKON Drug War annual general meeting and this week's peer conference.
And what are you hoping to get out of today's meeting?
I'm hoping that maybe we could have a consensus amongst peers that we could try to put together a provincial union to try to, create better working conditions, better support. We're really lucky in Victoria that we actually do hold contracts and pay people paychecks and have jobs in the field. But what we've learned from a couple years of doing the work, that we are vastly unsupported to support the population that we employ. So I'm hoping that by bringing those kind of those things forward to people who are starting fledgling drug user organizations and to the other established drug user networks, that we could overcome that more easily if we put a group effort into that.
Could you tell us a bit about the situation in Victoria?
Yeah, sure. We started a couple years ago working the temporary overdose prevention unit that was placed in the Our Place courtyard, a previously abstinent-based organization. So they needed a drug user network in order to kind of sell the location, to the public, and then of course have the relationships with people who would use that service. So we did that for about a year and a half, and as that temporary spot came to an end and Health Canada put a replica of Insight in Victoria, we became one of the 5 partner agencies on that from the people of lived experience angle.
And how's that working out?
It's working all right. I think one of the complexities of the work is all the rules, of course, that come with being part of a federal operation. So in the pod, if you really needed to chase by the door.
The old one, yeah.
Yeah, the pod, because it was the temporary unit, and it worked on less rules. You could try to accommodate to people's needs. People who had a hard time hit, women that needed privacy, people who smoke. We don't have any of those freedoms in a Health Canada spot, so it makes it very difficult for us to connect with our population because 50% of them are unserved and outside on the clock. So it's frustrating to move forward and move backward at the same time.
So how does that compare to the new place?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what the new place is like. Is like 50% of the people are outside because they need assistance. They need a private spot. They need to smoke. I can't accommodate that under federal guidelines. So that makes our work really difficult because a lot of our population is actually stuck out on the clock and can't actually access a new service. So I was hoping, like long term, that these type of meetings could inform the way that these sites work. Like I'm hoping in the future we wouldn't have to work with 5 contracted agencies because it would be clear who the people who brought quality of work to the site was, and we would be able to populate those sites with those types of people to continue the kind of work we do in a more free environment, where you really actually just care about bringing services and helping people. With such strict regulations, it's really hard to do your best work. And I'm hoping that we'll put a concerted effort together from everybody that we can hope to change those things.
And what's your takeaway from this week's meeting?
My takeaway, actually, I'm kind of distressed, actually. Like, I'm from the mainland here, and so when I moved to Victoria, 15 years ago, I always felt like, I always called it ancient timesy Victoria, because there was nothing that existed here in Vancouver. And so we built our service based on what we thought was needed in our area and what our ability was to negotiate for resources. And we come back here and I find that people who I thought were in a way better position than us are actually still all receiving stipends and being put into a circular system where SRO living is acceptable. And we try to be about capacity building. We're from a small community, things are different where we are, and I guess I'm kind of torn because I thought I was going to come here and be able to run with the pack, and then I find a lot of the pack kind of got caught in a way that was very innovative 15 years ago, but it doesn't seem like it's moved forward much for all the people on the mainland here. And like I say, I hope just by working together that we can just make everybody happy and strengthen all of our communities, all parts of all of our communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.